Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Janae Evans, and I am back again with episode 3 of our series where we're talking about the truth about alopecia. So before we get into the details and the meat of this conversation, listen, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. Listen, also go ahead and hit that like button. And if you enjoy the content, y'all, go ahead and share it with somebody. Share this with somebody who you know is dealing with alopecia, or they're even dealing with some of the issues that we discuss on this channel, because we are definitely outside of the box. I just don't talk about one thing, but I talk about a lot of things. So again, if you enjoy the content and you know of someone else that can benefit from what we're talking about, especially with alopecia, oh my God, y'all, so many people are dealing with alopecia, and we just deal with it, and we just, figure out ways to cover it up without really understanding what it is. If you are yourself, you know someone who is dealing with alopecia, go ahead, share this video with them so we can come on and get an understanding together and understand the real truth behind old good alopecia. My goodness, because she'll hold something, she'll hold mood, and we need to really understand what's going on with her. That way we can make conscious decisions about how we deal with it, as opposed to just taking somebody else's advice, and just either just like the scriptures say, lean into our own understanding, what we think and what we propose. Of course, it's our body, it's our head, so we're gonna do what we want to do anyway. But I am all about making sure we make informed decisions about everything. So listen, y'all, please like and subscribe, and make sure you share this video with somebody who you know can benefit from the information. So without further delay, let's go ahead and get into some more truth about alopecia. So in those first couple of videos that we did, we actually got into what is hair, because you can't have alopecia without hair. Alopecia is hair loss. And before you understand hair loss, it's essential that you understand what hair is. Okay, so in those first couple of videos, we actually got an understanding of what hair is. Now we're going to dive into the meat about what alopecia is. And of course, y'all see I'm in teaching mode, so I got my visuals, and I got all of my graphics. So if you somebody who need to who need help with focusing, go ahead on and get your fidget spinner, and go ahead on and get your stress balls, so we can focus on this thing together, and we can get an understanding and not be distracted, because you somebody who you already don't like to read, and then just listening to talking. Oh my God. So listen, go ahead and get yourself together so we can come on back here and get an understanding about what's going on with our hair. Listen, I know you see this caption here, our hair is our glory. That's what the scriptures say. The Bible said our hair is our glory. So listen, where is it going? That's what we finna find out today. What's going on with alopecia? All right. So alopecia, again, it's sudden hair loss, and it starts with one or more, circular patches that may overlap. And there are several types, y'all, of alopecia. There are basically three main types of alopecia. The first one is called alopecia areata, and that's when the hair loss is experienced in patches, as you can see in this graphic here. And here's another graphic of, patchy alopecia. And again, that's called alopecia areata. Now, when hair loss is experienced over the entire head, that alopecia is called alopecia totalis. Okay, so I got a graphic. I pulled this graphic up because I wanted you to see how alopecia totalis look, and I of course, this is a male head, but I wanted you to have a clear visual of how alopecia totalis is, on how it looks on a head. So if you notice in this graphic, there is a kind of like smooth, shiny area on this particular head, and then there is a darker area, around the bottom, heading towards the nape of the neck, around the top of the ears. Now, as you can see that this person is not completely bald or experiencing alopecia totalis. So he or whether it was a female, if they were experiencing alopecia totalis, the entire head would look like this center part that's kind of smooth and shiny. That's somebody who is experiencing alopecia totalis, where the majority of the head looks like this, smooth, shiny part. Okay, so again, this gentleman, his experience was called male pattern baldness. That's that hereditary issue where men just have, baldness in certain areas, but that's not a conversation we're getting into now. But I just wanted you to see a clear visual of what alopecia totalis is. And of course, then the next alopecia would be alopecia universalis, and that's where you have hair loss over the entire body. That's where you don't have hair, under your arm, and you don't, facial hair, you don't have eyebrows. Men don't grow, beards. I mean, even in your special areas, in your private areas, you don't have hair there. That's alopecia totalis, where there's a total loss of hair over the entire body. So y'all, unfortunately, hair loss is common. It's common, and believe it or not, it's not only prevalent in adults, but children, y'all. Children can experience hair loss, and according to the AAD, it's called the American Academy of Dermatology. Y'all, this is a professional organization of doctors and physicians who specialize in the conditions of the skin, hair, and nails. And they got this little organization where they, come together and do continuing education about that particular issue, hair, skin, and nails. And so, according to the AAD, we typically have about 100,000 hairs on our head, and it's normal for us to lose about 50 to 100 hairs a day. Y'all, that's normal. It's normal for us to lose for about 50 to 100 hairs a day. But when you are seeing more than that, so listen, new hair new hair normally begins, when hair begins to shed, new hair normally grows in its place. That's the normal cycle of hair growth. When hair is shedding, that's because a new hair is getting ready to grow in that follicle. If you go back to the first and second videos, episodes 1 and 2, you will see the structure, the hair follicle, and how the hair is produced, and when in those cycles of hair growth. But when new hair is growing from that hair follicle, that hair that's hanging from your scalp, that's getting ready to shed. That's what that shedding is coming from. And at any point in time, each one of those strands of hair can be going through any one of those phases of growth that we discussed in the previous cycle. So that's why you see hair shedding. And that hair shedding period normally lasts between 3 to 5 months. So if there's ever a period when you are combing and brushing through your hair and you don't see hair growth, that means your hair is out of that shedding phase and it's in one of those other, previous hair growth stages. Okay. But in cases of alopecia, hair is no longer growing. Okay, the shedding hair is not being replaced. Okay, hair loss can develop gradually over a number of years, or y'all, it can happen suddenly. Okay, and listen, it also depends on underlying causes, as to the reasons for experiencing alopecia, okay? Y'all, and unfortunately, alopecia can happen without warning. Okay, you can have hair one day, and then all of a sudden, y'all, I've seen it. Your hair can be gone, and with no explanation. And it, again, depending on the underlying causes, that would determine, your level or what type of alopecia you're experiencing. So, a basic understanding of the biology of hair and the development of hair is essential in understanding the difference, y'all, between normal hair loss and abnormal hair loss. Okay, like again, normal hair loss is going to be that 50 to 100 hairs a day that is customary, for normal hair shedding. But then in cases of abnormal hair loss, that's when you're seeing an excessive amount of hair loss. I wanted to get to this graphic right here. So on the left, you see, that's going to be basically how your 50 to 100 hairs are looking, when you're in normal hair shedding. But on this graphic to the right, guys, if you are seeing hair loss like that, of course, you are experiencing some type of alopecia. And again, stop trying to figure this stuff out by yourself. If you are experiencing hair loss, in massive amounts like this graphic to the right, honey, get yourself out your kitchen lab, get yourself out your bathroom lab, and go see somebody about your head, about your scalp, because that's not normal. The graphic to the right is abnormal hair loss. The graphic to the left, where the brush is, that's normal hair loss. Okay. So we talked about the structure of hair, and how what makes up the hair. And also too, in episodes 1 and 2, we talked about how the hair is formed, how it is generated in that hair follicle. So go back to episodes 1 and 2 so you can get a basic rundown of how hair is developed and how it's created. And because those hair cycles and understanding those hair cycles, y'all, are important in understanding what type of alopecia you're experiencing. That's why I'm taking the time to give you this education, because some people, okay, there are some that just be like, what, my hair is falling out, I'm gonna just, I'm not gonna even worry about it. Girl, I get me a wig and I'm gonna go on. But then there are some, y'all, I see some people, coming to the salon, they are so distraught, about losing their hair, where it's literally just taking over and consuming their lives, because they are so worried about why they are losing their hair. And this is why I'm taking the time to do this series about alopecia, because I've seen it so often. How people are just, they're emotional about losing their hair. It's something different where you are causing this yourself, where you have that traction alopecia, where you are just getting, carelessly, adding glues and all types of things to your hair to just make your hair leave and make your hair literally be ripped from your scalp, with all of this carelessness as far as glues and uh um the hair weaves, just even with the tight, the tension of braids and, ponytails, anything that you inflict on yourself that will cause traction alopecia. Some people, mainly they sit well with that, because you caused it yourself. But if you are dealing with a type of alopecia and you do not know where it's coming from, this is why I am here to kind of shed a little light on the truth about alopecia, because as I stated earlier, alopecia can take place over a period of years, or it can be something that's sudden. I have a client that let me show you this graphic right here. I have a client y'all, that has she has, I wouldn't really consider it, an alopecia, because she's not balding as this graphic shows here. You know, where the top of the head, if you see this male, this is, again, this is a male's head, but if you see that shiny smooth part, she's not balding, you know, like you see in the top of this male head. Her hair is pretty much doing this. It's breaking. So it's not breaking, it's not coming out from the scalp, but it's literally breaking from the new growth. Okay, so new growth is there. And literally her head looks just like this, you know, and it's patchy. Let me see if I can give you another visual. It is okay. So in this graphic right here, it's in an area like in the top of her head here. Okay, where you can clearly see that this is balding. So this person is experiencing a type of alopecia. That's that alopecia areata. But in the client that I'm referring to, it the breakage is occurring, like in, maybe this is the top of the head. I'm just assuming this is the top of the head. So the alopecia is occurring in that area, but she's not balding. The hair is just literally breaking from away from the new growth. So that strand of hair is no longer growing. Her hair is getting to a point of new growth, and then it is stopping. The growth is stopping. So let me show you on this graphic right here. So her hair is in this telogen stage. It's in the resting stage, and it's not going any further. So what that tells me with this particular client is she's not experiencing alopecia. There is something internal that's going on with her. And that's why I mentioned earlier, depending on the underlying cause, it would determine whether or not your alopecia is going to be temporary or permanent. And so, okay, well, you can still consider it as a hair loss, because the hair is breaking, but she's not experiencing like just something that can't be reversed. Again, like I said, the client, her hair is there. The new growth, you can clearly see new growth. There is no baldness like in this graphic, or in this graphic there is no baldness. Her hair literally looks like this, but there's clear breakage, where you can see there are. And then let me show you this graph. I'm going back to this graphic too. Do you see this dark area here on this head? The dark area of her hair is actually long flowing hair. And then she has a clear spot in the top, that looks like this. Y'all, that's why it is so important that when you are experiencing these abnormalities with your hair, that you just don't brush it off. Because when I looked at this lady's hair, that pretty much tells me, as somebody who's had experience with, seeing different types of alopecia, this tells me that something is going on internally. There is something inside that's making her hair grow to a certain point and just break and stop growing. Her hair is again in this resting stage called telogen. Okay, the hair is no longer growing. So my advice to her was to again go and see her doctor. She clearly needed to go see her doctor, and and go find out what is lacking, what's going to have maybe some blood panels drawn, because when viewing her hair, viewing the nature of her scalp, hair was healthy. I mean, the scalp looked healthy. There was no abrasions. There was nothing, just abnormal going on with the scalp, other than that patchy area of hair breakage where you can clearly see hair, but then it's breaking off. And so that just told me that something internal was going on. I wanted to give you that little story because I wanted you to see the different, types of alopecia that people can experience. And again, all of it is something that you should be, alarmed about and alert to, especially knowledgeable about, because you don't want your body to be giving you warning signs and giving you, trying to give you little hints and tips saying, hey sis, something going on inside of me, and you ignoring it because you just thinking that, it's something that just happens, in the lives of every. No, ma'am. Don't accept it. Go see what's wrong with you. Go get yourself checked out, because at the end of the day, who gonna care about you other than you? Of course your family loves you, and you got all of the people around you that love you. But honey, at the end of the day, you are responsible for this body that God put your soul and your spirit in. You are responsible for taking care of that body. So I want to encourage each and every one of us, to make sure that you're taking care of yourself internally and externally. So listen, this is the end of this second video with as we were talking about the truth about alopecia. Of course, we're coming with more, because there's a little bit more that we have to talk about, as we are diving into the truth about alopecia. So listen, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. Thank you for all of the subscriptions, and thank you for all of you guys who comment and let me know that you are enjoying the content. Listen, I want to give a special thank you to those of you who have been supporting financially. Oh my God. Thank you so much, because there is so much that I would like to do to improve this channel and make sure that I'm presenting you guys with the very best, of quality content. And thank you so much to those of you who have supported, not only with your subscriptions, because y'all, that's a blessing as well. Thank you so much for trusting me and clicking that subscribe button. But then also a special thank you to those of you who have who trust me enough, to know that there is something great that I want to do with this channel, and I want to be able to, give us the best content possible. And you have been a blessing with your financial support as well. Thank you to those of you who have done that. You know who you are, and I am so grateful for that support. And for those of you who would like uh to help support, with something more than just your subscription, check down in the description box. There's some information there for those of you who would like to support, in other ways, in addition to subscribing, because again, everybody who subscribes, y'all, that is a major blessing. But then also the additional blessings, I'm telling you, they are so much. I'm so grateful for you, and they are a great help to helping me move this channel forward and getting it to where we need it to be. So listen, without further delay, listen. If you again like this content, please share it with somebody, okay? Make sure you share it with somebody who's dealing with alopecia, so we can come on and get this understanding together. So until we meet again, I wish you more love. I wish you more light. I wish you more grace. And listen, I wish you more peace, honey. Don't you let nobody take your peace here. Bye.